Pendejos no somos, no hemos sido ni seremos jamás. Estamos enfrentando corrientes extremistas del norte, nazi extremistas. Eso lo debe saber la humanidad. Venezuela está en la primera línea de la lucha por la humanidad, por el derecho a la paz.
If the United States or any country in the world wants to fight drugs, are they going to go where only 5% of the drugs come from? Or does common sense tell you to go after the 5% of the drugs? Or does common sense say, brother, go fight the 87%? Who is used in the trials? They can give a speech about fighting drug cartels and ignore the route where 87% of the drugs pass through and instead focus on the 5%. There's an underlying motive. The underlying motive is one they haven't wanted to admit, but what they've always tried is a regime change in Venezuela. Regime change. Getting rid of the Bolivarian revolution with outright lies, with deceptive tricks, well, with completely fake news. The very latest thing they cunningly came up with was a direct attack. It was a malicious attack on Ohio. They released a report that I actually have. You know, you try to watch and listen because social media is such a dynamic thing, not like this here. And look, this tip is different from that one. The Pentagon has released details about the attack, including what kind of drugs were on board, the amount, and how it was carried out. Reuters reported this today. They didn't say it on the first day because doubts started to arise. How do they say it? The cuales? Here? Reasonable doubts. Reasonable doubts. Common dreams. Critics denounce White House propaganda after the US bombing of a ship off the coast of Venezuela. Well, the coast of Venezuela stretches from here all the way to Alaska because that's considered off the coast of Venezuela. Experts say, and it is truly important to note, experts say that the deadly maritime attack orchestrated by the Trump administration amounts to extrajudicial executions, a grave and serious matter. The Hammer isn't saying this, I'm just reading the doubts. because these doubts seem to be widespread around the world, especially among the people of the United States. United, they said it was a large amount of drugs, right? A large amount of drugs. Here's the fishing boat. Let's suppose here's the ship, and these are people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where are the other 6? I mean, I'm just conveying people's doubts because people ask me, and I wish someone could help me clear this up, this doubt. So let's suppose that this right here is the drugs. Let's suppose. Oh, and how do you move something like that? Without gasoline? Where are the gas tanks? We have actually caught fishing boats with drugs here. And they carry more gasoline than drugs. Suspicion of drug trafficking authorizes the death penalty at sea. I'm going to speak here, I'm not a sailor, but when all these things come up, you have to quickly look for answers, you see? Comparison of the evidence. Because supposedly they say it left Venezuela, but they haven't said where it's headed. They don't say, because in the end, Rubio ended up saying that it seems they were headed to Trinidad. That's how it is, you know. They're a bunch of liars. Look, this kind of evidence, look at how it is here in Venezuela. Look at how it is here in Venezuela. It's not like that. I think there's a difference. I think there's a difference. I'm saying this for the sake of argument because if you ask me, I'd say, oh, that's true, you know? I hadn't realized. Open sea, but it doesn't authorize executions. The duty was to detain and present them before the courts, right? Legal justification and due process, interception versus lethal counterattack without warning. This is what's coming. Well, this is the movie that's coming. Main contradiction. Historically, U.S. anti-drug operations, like those of SOCON, Southern Command, involve interceptions, captures, and seizures. Now here, it says lethal extraction. What's it called? Fire then. Rubio justifies the attack as necessary against an immediate threat. That skiff? An immediate threat. Where? Did it have missiles? Actually, no. Be blunt, okay? No, you can't do that like this. It raises a lot of doubts. I have doubts right now. In the United States, the Fifth Amendment enshrines due process. That's an extrajudicial execution. They ask Rubio. He skirts around it. Legal violations, the murder of 11 people. Look, let's suppose, just as a hypothetical exercise, that it was indeed drugs, that there were precisely 11 individuals involved, and they were tragically shot at. Let's suppose it was drugs. And they have the right to kill a person. Their own laws prohibit it. And what about the right to defense for those who were there? I mean, the video, what they're saying is actually evidence against themselves. It's evidence against them. They killed a group of people, and I see 5, but they say it's 11. Let's believe them. That it's 11. But what they're really doing is confessing to murder. It's foolishness. You can't use your own foolishness as a personal defense.